Hey YouTube fam, it has been a minute. I feel like I've started my last several videos by saying that because I've been really busy in the Kula. You've likely heard I launched a membership site 2 months ago, and there are hundreds of you all in there, which absolutely blows my mind, and I am so beyond grateful. If you want to learn about the Kula, I'll put the link below. We're actually doing a handstand challenge in the Kula right now, which is 30 days of daily uploads of tips and tricks, tutorials, alignment cues, strength training, flexibility training, different variations, different entries, all things handstands. So I hope that you will come join us in the Kula, even if it's for a month or two, to check out the handstands, to check out what it's like in there. There's no long-term commitment unless you decide to sign up for the year at a little bit of a discount. With the Kula, you also get, if you're in the annual membership, you get first access and a discounted rate to retreats. And I am planning 4 retreats right now for 2022. So those will be announced soon as well. In the meantime, let's jump into a 30-ish minute advanced practice. This sequence is really fun. I had a lot of fun creating it, so I hope you will join me for it. And we're gonna get started in a child's pose. So walking knees wide, big toes together, sink the hips back on top of the heels, walk the arms out long in front of you. Let the forehead rest on the mat. Take a big breath in through the nose. And open mouth, exhale back out. One more time, big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, move it through. And ground into finger pads, ground into knuckle pads. On your next exhale, we're gonna round up the spine, landing in a tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Ground into the knees, squeeze the heels into the glutes, flex out the toes, and then pivot the toes off to the right side of the mat. So we're keeping shoulders square, and then take a big step forward with the left hand, bend into the right elbow and drop the heart down, left shoulder down, hips back. Little side body stretch and also really good release for the low back. Come back through center, left hand plants, pull the heels into the glutes and then toes over to the left. Big step forward with the right hand, and then let the right shoulder drop down, bend into the left elbow, the hips send back. Inhale to come back up through center, wrists under shoulders, toes behind you. Couple rounds of cat-cow. In breath, open collarbones, lift tailbone, lift gaze. Exhale, round through back body. 2 more times. Inhale, open up, shoulders onto back, lift tailbone, lift gaze. Exhale, round through back body. One more time, move with your own breath. Exhale, round. And then come back to a neutral spine. Kick the right leg long behind you. Extend left fingertips out in front. We're gonna keep the leg and the arm extended long, but lift the right heel as high as you can, lift the left arm as high as you can. So you're finding a back bend shape, but with the leg and the arm extended. Drop the left hand back down to the floor, heart is open. On your exhale, we're gonna lift the left knee and pull the right knee to the right elbow. Press the floor away. Start to traction the right knee up and down the arm, so we're firing up the core. On your next in-breath, kick back, find your 3-legged down dog, bend the knee, open up the hip, think of pointing right knee up towards ceiling and squeezing the heel into the glutes. And then right knee to the left elbow. Straighten out the right leg, set outside edge of the foot to the floor. We're gonna drop the right hip down. Pivot to the left for a moment, turn toes up towards ceiling. We're gonna walk the hands forward just for a cycle of breath. So we're not settling into this shape, we're just meeting it for a moment. And then inhale, come back up through center. Plant the right hand at the right hip. Spin to the outside edge of right foot, inside edge of left foot. Lift the hips into kind of a funky wild thing. And then drop the right hip down. As you lean the upper body forward, reach the left hand to the left toes or past, and then come all the way back. Plant the right hand at right hip, lift the hips, open left fingertips. One more time, drop the right hip down. Reach forward, pivot over to the left hand towards left toes, and then come all the way back up. Right hand plants, lift the hips into kind of a fallen star. Let's circle left hand underneath left shoulder. Come onto the left toes. Bend and straighten through the right knee just for a moment, getting really deep into the outer right hip. And then kick the right foot back. Find your three-legged down dog. On your exhale, right knee into the chest. Step the foot all the way through. Soften left knee down. Hands to interlace on top of the right knee. Press the hips down and forward. And then on your next exhale, straighten out through the right leg. Keep the hands to interlace and push the fingertips forward. Rebend into the right knee. Hands stay as they are. Lift the upper body. Open the heart towards sky. Palms are pressing up towards ceiling. Fingertips to interlace. And then circle the hands down. Frame out the right foot. Take a step to the top of the mat. Find your fold. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Open mouth, exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Come all the way through standing. Arms extend up overhead. Shift onto the toes. Heels lift. And then as the heels ground, hands through heart center, dive forward, Uttanasana. In breath, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, find your high plank. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Exhale, elbows bend, lower all the way down to the belly, and then ground into the knees, press right back up, find your tabletop. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Kick left leg long behind you, left foot is flexed. Reach the right fingertips forward, and then without bending into the arm or the leg, lift the left heel, lift the right fingertips, open up the heart. So you're finding this back bend, but you're using just the strength of the back body. Keep the heart open as you drop right hand underneath right shoulder. Press the floor away, pull collarbones through, and then lift the right knee as you do. Round through the back body, left knee to the left elbow, pause and hold it. Start to traction the knee, up and down the arm, strengthening out through the core. On your in-breath, kick all the way back, find your three-legged down dog. Left toes reach high, and then exhale, left knee to the right elbow. Straighten out the left leg, setting outside edge of the foot to the mat. Drop the left hip to the floor. We're going to pivot to the right, sit tall. For a moment on your exhale, fold forward. We're meeting this shape just for an exhale. And then inhale, rebounds you right back up. Left hand underneath left shoulder at the left hip. We're going to lift into kind of this funky wild thing. Hips lift, circle the right arm behind you. And then as you drop the hips down, reach the right hand forward and sweep it over to the right, towards or past the right toes. And then come all the way back up. Left hand plants, lift the hips. Circle heart open towards sky. Drop the hips, reach forward and over to the right. And then one more time, last one, we're going to plant the left hand, lift the hips, pause and hold it. So we're kind of landing in our fallen star. Circle right hand back down to the mat and shift to the right toes. Left knee may come straight or it may have a bend in it. Either way is great. We're just going to bend and extend through the left knee. So getting into outer left hip IT band. On your in-breath, kick all the way back. Find your three-legged down dog. Left toes pull high, heart pulls back. And then exhale, knee into the chest. Step the foot all the way through. Soften right knee down. Hands to interlace on top of the left thigh. Focus here on pressing the hips forward and down. Spine is tall. So hands are to interlace. On your exhale, you're going to straighten through left leg, lift left toes, and reach the fingertips forward, pressing the palms towards the front of the mat and keeping the hands at that interlace. Rebend into the left knee, in breath. Come all the way up, open up the heart. And then release the hands, circle them back down, frame out the left foot. Step to the top of the mat, find your fold. In breath, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Bend into the knees until the hips drop on top of the heels. Maybe the heels stay glued to the mat or maybe they need to lift. Either is fine. Let's interlace all 10 fingers and roll out the wrists. Switch direction of the circles. And then plant the hands. If you're feeling ready for it, crow pose. Shoulder width distance, knees to the backs of the arms, toes lift. Heels in towards glutes. On your exhale, step, walk, hop. Maybe you float into a handstand first. We're going to meet in a down dog. You can add whatever movement / vinyasa you would like along the way. Move with your breath. And let the practice be yours. We land in our first downward dog. Pedal out the feet, bend into one knee, bend into the other knee. Send the hips side to side, finding movement that feels good in the body. On your next exhale, let's ripple forward. Find your high plank. Right hand stays down. Shift to the outside edge of right foot, inside edge of left foot. Sweep left fingertips high. We're going to drop the right hip to tap the mat. Reach left fingertips towards the space at the back of the mat. And then come all the way back up. Circle the left hand down. Bend into the elbows, lower all the way to the belly. And then press all the way back up. Knees can drop if you need them to. Come to outside edge of left foot. Right fingertips sweep up high. And then as we drop the left hip down, point the right fingertips towards back of the mat, getting a stretch down left side body and into that side core, the obliques. Circle back. Right hand plants. Elbows bend as you lower all the way to the belly. This time, we're going to plant into the hands and we're going to lift just to a hover. Find your chaturanga. Elbows hug into the rib cage. In breath, pull through up dog. On your exhale, hips roll up and back, downward facing. On your next exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Find the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale to rise, come all the way through standing, palms come to touch. Lift up and out of the waist, little back bend at the top. On your exhale, dive all the way down, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Plant the hands, step or hop to the back of the mat. Adding on whatever sort of vinyasa you would like on your way to a downward dog. Keeping with this pace, on your exhale, feet to the top of the mat. Find your fold. In breath, half lift. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, rise, come through standing, palms touch. Glutes engage as you open up the heart. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands. If you've got handstand in your practice, maybe you add it on. You can always skip it. Next place we meet is in our down dog. So whatever movement you'd like along the way. Doesn't have to be pretty. Challenge yourself enough that it might actually not be pretty. On your exhale, feet to the top of the mat, find your fold. In breath, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, rise, come all the way through standing, palms touch, open heart, glutes engage. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, find your fold. In breath, half lift. One more time, plant the hands, fold, either crow pose or handstand or vinyasa. No right or wrong way to land in your downward dog. Move with breath though, move with intention. Connect to what it is that your body needs in this practice, in this moment. One cycle of breath in your down dog, big breath in, and open mouth, exhale, back out. On your exhale, step, walk, hop, handstand, however you land to the top of the mat, find your fold. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and release. Shift your weight into the right foot, sweep the left toes high. I'm gonna give lots of options here. Standing split. You can stay here, you can hover the hands to test your balance. You can play with kicking up towards handstand, or you can bend into the right knee to plant the hands and work towards a one-legged crow, right knee to the back of the right arm, and maybe right heel lifts in towards the glutes. So all are just options. From whatever shape you're in, whether it's your standing split, your handstand, or your one-legged crow, you're gonna pull the left knee into the chest. Step the left foot to the top of the mat, and then step the right toes back. Open up, warrior two. So it's kind of a wild transition. However you landed there, left foot is forward, right foot is back, right foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Circle the hands around so they interlace at the low back. We are not taking this into a back bend, we're isolating the opening in the shoulders. And then bring the hands to the right rib cage. Lift up and out of the waist, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. So lengthening out down the left side of the neck. Bend a little deeper into the left knee. Keep left hand where it's at. Slide the right hand down the back of the right thigh. So we're reversing our warrior with the bind on the left foot. On your exhale, cartwheel out the hands. Frame out the left foot. Kick back, three-legged down dog. On your exhale, shift forward. Left knee, left elbow. In breath, kick back, three-legged down dog. On your exhale, shift forward, left knee, right elbow. Straighten through the left leg, right foot spins flat. Maybe left leg stays to a hover this time as you reach the right hand up towards sky and then towards the front of the mat. And then on your in-breath, we're gonna come through to our high plank, come to the outside edge of right foot, left fingertips open up, and then drop the right hip to tap the mat as the left fingertips point back. Lift the hips, circle back around, find your plank pose, press the floor away. In breath here. On your exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Hands stay planted, toes stay tucked, lift up just to a hover, and then pull through, find your up dog. With your exhale, roll the hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. All right, kind of a fun one. Let's do it on the other side. Exhale carries the feet to the top of the mat. However you get there. Doesn't have to be pretty, I'm laughing at myself. Let's stay folded forward and roll out the wrists for a moment. Circles in one direction, circles in the other direction. Weight comes into the right foot. Fingertips to the mat to start, sweep the left toes high. So again, you have options here. You can stay right here. You can hover hands. Hands can come to the right ankle. You could play with kicking up towards handstand, or you could plant the hands. Bring left knee to left elbow as you bend into the elbows, and then extend the right leg back, one-legged crow. Press floor away from you. Whatever shape you are in, take one more intentional breath. And then whatever shape you're in, right knee pulls into the chest. Right foot steps to the top of the mat as left foot steps back. Pivot open, warrior two. Fingertips extend in both directions. Imagine someone's playing tug-of-war on the hands. Circle the hands behind you so that they interlace. We're not taking the back bend. We're isolating this opening in the shoulders. And then hands to the left rib cage. Left ear drops to left shoulder. Lengthen down the right side of the neck. And then we're gonna slide left hand down the back of the left thigh. Find your reverse. Bend even a little deeper into the right knee. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame out the right foot. Kick all the way back, three-legged down dog. With your exhale, shift forward, right knee taps right elbow. In breath, kick back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Left foot spins flat, right leg kicks through, left hand lifts. Maybe the right foot is above the floor. If you need the support, the right foot can drop down. Circle the left hand in front towards top of the mat. And then we're gonna circle left hand back down as we roll through to your high plank. And then to the outside edge of left foot. Right fingertips sweep up high. Side plank on the left side. Drop the left hip. Right fingertips point towards back of the mat. And then we're gonna lift the hips. We're gonna circle back. Find your high plank. On your exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Hands stay planted, toes stay tucked. Lift to a hover. In breath, pull all the way through. On your exhale, hips up and back. Find your down dog where we're gonna land for a full cycle of breath. Big breath in through the nose. Maybe an open mouth exhale back out. We're gonna take that flow one more time each side and we will add on a bit and then we're gonna bring it down. On your next exhale, step, walk, hop, play, however you land to the top of your mat, find your fold. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen spine, exhale, fold, and release. Weight comes into the left foot, right toes sweep high. Either stay right here, or play with kicking up towards handstand, or plant the hands, pull right knee to the right elbow, and maybe left heel in towards glutes, left leg to extend back. Take a cycle of breath. And then from whatever shape you're in, left knee into the chest, left foot steps between the hands, right foot steps back, pivot open, warrior two. Hands into fists, roll out the wrists for a moment. Switch direction of the circles. And then arms extend up overhead, palms touch. As you bend into the right knee, hips drop on top of the right heel. We're gonna bring palms to touch at heart as we twist to the back of the mat. Left elbow hooks itself to the right knee. Find your twisted lunge. We are facing the back of the mat, and we're just gonna reverse that little sequence and come out the way we came in. So pivot back to your pistol squat, your skandasana. Hips on top of the right heel. Arms extend up overhead, and then come back up. Warrior two, left foot plants, right foot spins flat. Circle hands around so they interlace. Straighten out the arms as much as you can. Bring wrist to the right rib cage, right ear to the right shoulder. And then soften right hand down the right leg as you find what would be a reverse but with the bind. Take an in-breath. On your exhale, cartwheel the hands, frame out the left foot, kick all the way back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Pause here. Traction the knee up and down the arm just once or twice. Kick back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, fallen star. Right foot spins flat, left leg extends through. Option if you want it to hold the right hand onto the left foot and work the left leg towards the top of the mat. We're gonna circle back to our high plank. Take your time if you're not exactly with my pace. Shift to the outside edge of right foot. Left fingertips sweep up high. And then drop the right hip down, point the fingertips towards back of the mat. Lift back up as we circle through. Find your high plank, take an in-breath. On your exhale, lower to belly. Hands stay planted, toes stay tucked. Lift just to a hover. Pull through upward dog. On your exhale, send the hips up and back. Downward facing. Okay, last time, last side for that sequence. On your exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Find the top of the mat, fold. In breath, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and release. Weight comes into the right foot, left toes sweep high. Once more, either handstand or hang out right here. Listen to your wrists. If you're ready for it, you could plant the hands, pull left knee to left elbow, and then see if you can pull right knee into the chest and kick the right leg back. Ekapada Bakasana, one-legged crow. From whatever shape you're in, right knee pulls into chest. Step the right foot between the hands. Left toes step back, pivot open. Warrior two. Arms extend long in both directions. Hands into fists. Circle out the wrists. And then switch directions. Arms are going to extend up overhead as we straighten through the right leg and then bend into the left knee. Hips on top of the left heel towards back of the mat, Skandasana. We're going to pivot to the back of the mat for a twist, pulling palms to touch at the heart. Shift onto the ball of the right foot. Right elbow hooks itself to the left knee. Spin the heart open. Left shoulder to stack on top of right shoulder. On your in-breath, we're coming right back to our Skandasana. So releasing the twist, pivot to the right. Drop the right heel, right toes point up. Arms extend up overhead. And then on your inhale, come all the way back up. Warrior two. Once you've settled, landed, met this shape, circle hands around so they interlace at the low back. We're not back bending, we're just isolating this opening in the shoulders. Hands come into the left rib cage. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And then slide the left hand down the back of the left leg, finding your reverse. Take an inhale. On your exhale, cartwheel hands, frame out right foot, kick right toes back. One more time here, right leg kicks, three-legged down dog. Exhale, shift forward, right knee, right elbow, pause. Traction the knee up and down the arm, just once or twice. And then kick the right foot back, three-legged. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, pull the leg through as left foot spins flat, left fingertips open up. Option with left hand to hold onto the right foot. Maybe you start to pull the right leg towards the top of the mat. All just options. We're moving through to our high plank. Take your time in the transition. Let it be mindful. Shift to outside edge of the left foot. Right fingertips sweep up high. And then drop the left hip to tap the mat as right fingertips point back. Lift the hips, circle all the way through. One more time here. Hands plant. Take an in breath in your high plank. On your exhale, lower to the belly. Hands stay planted, toes stay tucked. Let's lift to a hover. And then pull through. Find your up dog. On your exhale, roll the hips up and back. Find your downward facing. Land here with a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale, back out. Step, walk, hop, handstand, play. However you get to the top of the mat, find your fold. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, release. As much of a bend in the knees as you need to bring palms underneath feet so that toes come into the wrist creases. Elbows pull to the outsides of the mat. Heart tractions towards tops of the thighs. And then gently release the hands. Walk the feet just a little bit wider. I'm going to bring us into kind of a funky shape, but I think it's great for the wrists. We're going to bring the hands, the forearms behind the knees. And then you're just going to kind of sit down, bend into the knees. So you're kind of bringing pressure onto the forearms, and then just roll out the wrists. I know it's kind of weird. I think it feels really good. I don't remember where I learned this one. I think at handstand training. Switch direction of the circles. And then lift the hips, come back to your fold. I'm going to give us one more kind of free rein opportunity to play, meeting in our final down dog of practice. So if you wanted a handstand or a crow pose or a headstand or a forearm stand, or maybe you just go to child's pose. If you're with me, I'm moving into handstand, so I'll give some cues, but it's all optional. Hands are shoulder width distance, you're pressing the floor away. Maybe you lift one foot and play with a couple hops, kicks up. Maybe you add some movement in the legs. Any variations here that feel good and playful and fun. Next place we meet, however you get there, is in our down dog with a breath of gratitude for the body. And then soften into a child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Bend into the elbows, bring palms to touch behind the head. And as much as you can, you're letting the heart soften down to the floor. You're pressing the elbows into the mat to traction the heart down. And then extending the arms back out long. Walk hands back into the body. Cross over ankles. Extend the legs out long in front of you. Pull the toes back. In breath to circle, arms up overhead, lift up and out of the waist. And then exhale to dive forward. Heart towards the thighs, hands towards the feet, towards the floor, towards wherever they happen to land. Drop the weight of the head. Soften the jaw. On your inhale, come back up through center. With your exhale, slow-mo, we're rolling down the back body until eventually we come all the way down onto our back. Right knee pulls into the chest. Right thigh squeezes into right rib cage. Press the back of the left thigh down. Drop the right arm out, cactus or T. Take an in-breath. On your exhale, find your twist. Right knee over the left side of the body. Both shoulders are touching floor. Maybe you drop gaze over to the right hand. Inhale, come back through center. Left knee comes in, right leg extends long. Left thigh squeezes into left rib cage. Drop left arm out, cactus or T. Take an inhale. On your exhale, find the twist. Left knee over the right side of the body. On your inhale, come back through center. Pull both knees into the chest. Lift the shoulders up off the mat so you can clasp opposite elbows. Tight squeeze in. Take an inhale. On your exhale, Shavasana. Legs extend long. Arms drop out by the sides. Eyes close. Land here with the deepest breath that you've taken yet today. Breath as an opportunity to move energy through the body. And breath as a portal, a tool for accessing the present moment, which we can find both on our mats and off of our mats in the practice that is outside of this room, outside of this mat, outside of this time moving the body. And when we talk about advancing our practice, sure, we can advance physically, we can talk about handstands and one-legged crow poses and all the wild shapes, but even bigger than that, we carve out the time and the space and the attention to find presence and to become the highest, biggest, most authentically expressed version of you that you can be in the world. And ultimately, that's the practice. That's what we're working towards. So a couple of moments in silence. And I ask that if the mind wanders, you simply reconnect, recommit to what is right here. If you've got the time and the capacity to linger in this shape a bit longer, I encourage it. Otherwise, we can start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, start to roll out the wrists and the ankles. Inviting movement in slowly, gently, sweetly. Extend arms up overhead, kick the legs long. Let the eyes stay closed for as much of the transition up as we can. So you might start just by pulling knees into the chest and pausing there. You might roll onto a side and pause there. Eventually we meet in a comfortable seat with eyes closed at the top. Setting the tone, setting some sort of intention for how you'll carry yourself off of your mat and into whatever comes next. I recently learned that culturally the word namaste is actually more of a greeting than an ending. And so I've started to refrain from using the word namaste at the end of practice to honor the culture where it stems from and the intention of the word. But I thank you for joining this practice And I meet with my hands at heart in immense gratitude for this community. And I will see you all again soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, friends.